Hey guys, and welcome to our first daily coaches video. We're just going to be reviewing the workout of the day, giving you some tips, pointers, talking about the programming as a whole. So for today, we are starting our strength portion of this new cycle with bench press, some pushing and pulling. All right, so the rep scheme is going to be every 2 minutes. You're going to be building up a couple sets of 5, building up into a set of 3 or 5, and then finishing off with a max effort set. We'll always include percentages. If you're newer, you're not going to have percentages, that's fine. You're just going to be building up. And again, this is the first week, kind of transition testing week, moving into the cycle. If you do have a recent 1 rep max, use that as your percentage, all right? A couple pointers on the bench press, all right? So there's a lot we could talk about for this movement, but we'll talk about some basics. One is the grip, all right? People often discuss where to hold the bar. It's just like a lot of movements. There's no perfect grip. We like just outside shoulder width. It transfers more to dips, handstand push-ups, pressing. So typically that just thumb distance from the knurling mark here, okay? When you set yourself up, you want to bring the feet back so you can press your feet into the ground. You don't want to have your feet out here so they're flopping around. Okay, you want to be able to press down, get tension through your hamstrings and your butt. Okay, when you bring the barbell out of the rack, right, the first thing you're going to do is pull the shoulder blades back against the bench. Think you're squeezing your shoulder blades against the bench. Feel pressure through your feet, all right? And then the bar is going to move straight up and down. So the elbows stay in, drive down and up, okay? Another little pointer that I like to give people, a little trick if you will, is to squeeze the barbell really tight, and this is going to activate more muscles through your shoulders, all right? Again, that's a super quick breakdown. Talking about the grip, if you go wide, it's not wrong, all right? It's a little more challenging on the shoulders, but a little different muscle group. Doesn't transfer as much to some of the other type of pressing that we do, all right? So it's gonna be the bench press, and after we finish these sets, we're gonna rest for 3 minutes, and as a test, we're gonna do a max effort set. You're gonna choose either bar muscle ups, chest to bar, regular pull-ups, or even just ring rows for those new to doing gymnastic pulling movements, something you can do at least 5 reps with, something you're comfortable with, and we're going to be working on this strength in the coming cycle. All right, guys, we got a great little conditioning piece for you today. 18-minute time cap, 3 different movements, classic CrossFit. It's going to go down in reps. That helps keep intensity up as we go. All right. Remember, the time cap is designed to finish before the time cap. We don't want to run into it. We're trying to keep it so when you're deciding on weights and variations, choose something you feel comfortable with. All right. There is rowing in there for calories, doing 21, 15, 12, 9 down in cals on the rower. And if we don't have a rower in class, feel free to use a bike, ski erg, something like that. This is just going to get your heart rate up, get you breathing heavy. We also have devil's press and toes to bar. All right, so let's talk about scaling and approach to those movements. So the devil's press, I would say, is the big one for this workout. Choosing a weight that you feel comfortable moving through. All right, so these aren't necessarily fast, but there's a decent number of reps. So it looks like this. It's basically a burpee with dumbbells. So hands are on the dumbbell, right? You kick your feet back, chest to the dumbbells or to the floor at the bottom. As you jump your feet back forward, you're gonna go wide. You wanna leave room for the dumbbells to come back between your feet. Okay, and if you notice what I did there, right, I'm gonna use a little bit of a swing. So unless these are really light, most people are not gonna be able to go straight up like this, okay? Most people are gonna wanna load the hips first, kind of like a kettlebell swing, load the weight back, chest is up, and then you drive aggressively with the hips and legs to get momentum on those dumbbells. Notice I keep the dumbbells close to my body, right? If they come way out here, that's gonna feel a bit heavier, right? So again, kick the feet back, chest down, jump forward, wide stance, swing, and press, okay? So practice that sequence, and again, if you're not sure what weight to choose, go on the lighter side, just so you can move through and keep that intensity up as you go, all right? From here we got toes to bar, so classic movement. Toes to bar, full range of motion is toes all the way up to the bar, all right? Most people, when they struggle with that, will go down to knee raises, okay? I would say if you do the knee raise, pull the knees as high as you can, right? We want to try to compress the midline and focus on building up the capacity to get your toes up, so there isn't in between. If knee raises feel easy, try to do something like this. Get your toes up in between, all right? Or maybe you can do some toes to bar, but you fail after a bit. So start working that extra range of motion in, and then scale down if you need, okay? Sometimes you feel your grip or your shoulders going, you don't feel very supported. Couple options. The first one I like to give people is just a ground supported toes to bar. So you start in kind of the standing extended position, and then just lift your knees as high as you can. So every rep you get a little support in your upper body doing it that way. If your hand and shoulders are over it all together, you can just go to the floor and work on V-ups, tuck-ups, or even sit-ups. So V-ups or tuck-ups, or even just sit-ups, working on your core, okay? So that's it for today, guys. Have fun with it. See you tomorrow.